Welcome to the Sweet Subversives podcast.
We are live.
Yes, we are.
Hello. Welcome to Sweet Subversives.
Welcome.
Welcome. I'm Heather, the lovely lady on the other side of me, on the right.
That would make me Kara.
That would be Kara. She's the lovely lady. Oh, how you doing, Kara?
Better now that we're doing the show.
Oh my gosh, yes. This is my favorite part of the week. It always cheers me up. Even we have some demented stuff in my town. There's a bunch of stuff going on with face mask arguments. So I'm a little about that lately. But in my work, they just said we're going to be all wearing masks at work all year. So I'm like, yeah.
Well, I have good news for you then, Heather.
What's that?
Our face shields came in.
Oh, the fancy ones? Or the other, there's two ones.
Backup ones. The backup ones. So
Thank
the
you.
ones that rest here, I don't have yet, but I got the ones that are like the visor ones, but you can flip them up and down.
Oh, thank goodness. I was worried because I was looking in case I needed a backup, and I couldn't find any that were going to come before our convention.
Right. So this weekend you can grab it, but the other thing is you could wear it at work.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna, because I face shields would be so much easier for me to deal with, and I feel like I'm gonna suffocate when I'm wearing masks lately. So
yeah, and I've been looking at studies, and the face shields are better than cloth masks. So unless you're wearing a surgical grade mask or a N95, the shields are better.
Oh, that's so good. Thank you for getting that. That's very thoughtful of you. And I will love it. And can we bedazzle it or something? Or
I think you can decorate them. I've seen little kids wearing them and they put stickers on them.
I'd make mine into a crown. So when I'm at work, I'd be like Queen Heather all the time.
Oh my God. I have a light up rave crown.
Hell yeah.
That whenever you talk, it lights up.
Oh my God. Yes. That'd be awesome. You should incorporate that somehow.
And I've also seen face masks that have lights in them that light up when you talk.
See, that would just freak me out. I'm like, are you a robot?
Yes.
That's awesome. Yes, I am. In this world, this dystopian world, I am now a robot. Yes, I love that. I think that's going to be so cool. So you and I will have fun with that at least,
Yes, we will. We will. Well, we have we have a guest packed show.
We have a ton of people here today. So yes. I think we need to get right into it instead of our normal let's sit and drink and chat for a long time. So, let's drink and chat with them.
Yes, absolutely. So we have John Gunther, and we can bring him in. And so
hi, John.
Hey, how are you?
So John, you got some initial good news. I know it's not final.
Yeah.
But you have some initial good news. So share your awesome good news because you were in a primary yesterday.
Yes, I was. And I have a beer in my fridge. I didn't know you guys were drinking, but I would have got it if I did.
Do you want us to wait just a minute while you grab your beer?
Go get your beer because
we can do that.
We can all celebrate together because I have my drink.
Oh, 1 minute. It's a bottle. Give me 1 second.
Oh,
okay. So he was in a primary yesterday. So New York had their primaries yesterday, and they have fusion candidates and all kinds of things like that. So, it's a little funky. New York has ballot access, which is why people are trying to take the libertarian line. People,
I feel like she's whispering some news to you. Hey, there's something that you should know about. She's so cute.
But anyway, so tell us
fusion candidates. So could you clarify what that is?
Yes. So John, could you explain, because when we see New York ballots, we see a bunch of different people going for primaries, and it's like every kind of party you can think of, but you'll see a person going for 4 different lines on the ballot. So could you explain how that is in New York?
That's pretty much as simple as it is. In New York, you can get cross-endorsed by other parties, and have their party line. So you'll see people, like you said, with 4, 3, certain amount of lines, because obviously they want to get, the extra line, extra votes for them. Supposedly it helps. So that's pretty much the basic of it. So talking about my primary, yes, I was in a primary yesterday, and it wasn't a regular primary, because usually, primaries, you have a libertarian going against a libertarian, a Democrat going against a Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
And this situation, first, I live in Nassau County, Levittown, in New York.
Yes.
So the Republicans
and the race you're going for is
New York State Senate 6th District.
Sweet.
Don't forget about that.
Right.
Yeah, can't forget about what I'm actually running for. But yeah, so the Republicans, they filed fraudulent documents to the BOE this year to try and hijack our line. So they did that for the state committee party and for my seat and a couple other seats, but we don't have anyone running for those other seats.
Right.
So now I had a primary against a Republican, and he's a sitting councilman of the town of Hempstead, so he's actually a public official already.
Yeah.
So
he should have had a base of support, connections to donors, like all the kinds of things that you get when you're an incumbent.
Mm-hmm. Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's not the state senate incumbent. The
city
Democrat
council.
Yeah, he's a city council, but what was I going to say? Kevin Thomas is the current incumbent for the state senate seat. He's a Democrat, and then the Republican is Dennis Dunn, who is a sitting councilman right now of the town of Hempstead. But yeah, so I had a primary against him, and like you said, you would think he's a Republican, he's in a big party. I'm more grassroots. I'm starting from the bottom, so it's totally different between me and him. Mm-hmm. But as you might have saw the results, if you looked, I am right now currently winning. I am defeating the Republican on the Libertarian line for the Libertarian line, which is great. And I think, to me, that's a big deal because, like I said, it's totally different from just going against another person in your party that has the same ideals in you, that maybe had a couple of different ones, but the same principles are pretty much the same. No, I'm going against a totally different person, totally different party. And now, instead of a two-way race, because if he won, it would have been the Republican with the Libertarian logo under his name and versus Democrat. Now it's a three-party race as long as I officially win, which, like I said, the numbers look great. Most likely I am. But now it's going to be a three-person race. It'll be the Libertarian, the Democrat, and the Republican. So now there's a third choice for New York State Senate in the 6th District. And that is a great thing, I think. That's a great thing.
You're getting a lot of love in the comments. People are like,
let's see. Did the screen share work? Because I think we have your results up.
Oh, here, I'll bring it
now.
Let me bring it right up. There we go. This is the results. So
yeah. Actually, I saw on TV, my brother texted me a picture on TV, and I was actually at 75%, it said on the TV. So,
nice.
I mean, so it's more than it was. And then, but like I said, we're still waiting for the absentee ballots, so it may take a couple of days. But I'm such in the lead that I don't think that the absentee ballot's going to change anything.
Right.
It may even work better in my case. I may be at a higher percentage. So
it very well could. It could. Mm-hmm. So I mean, that the results are fantastic. And I think it also helps on a couple of different things. Number one, like, you're a good candidate, you've been working hard. So to see you win that primary is fantastic. The fact that our line is now getting so attractive that we have other parties trying to come in and poach on our line, like, that's another really good sign, I think, that we're having. And also, I know people have the idea that, the big parties, the old parties, they can't be defeated, because they have all these resources and all that kind of stuff. And they do have a lot of resources, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't defeat them. So, I mean, this was so fantastic to see, and I was so pleased. I was watching your race crossing my fingers, going, yes, you've put in the work.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, it was fantastic to see.
Yeah, I did put in the work. There's 200 libertarians in my district. I walked and personally went door to door to each one of them with flyers to try and meet every single one. I took the time to go out. My opponent didn't. He's just probably sitting at home, watching the TV. But I actually went out there all week to meet these people, and that's what you have to do, especially as a candidate. And I think it shows that you actually care, that you want to meet people, that you want them to know, you don't have to vote for the two major parties. That's another option, and it's a good option. And take a look into it.
Yeah, it really is. And fantastic. And yes, like other candidates, that is a good message to get out to them. You do have to get out there, and you cannot take the libertarian vote for granted. Like, you can't assume just because you are the libertarian candidate that other libertarians are going to come and vote for you. You have to contact them. You have to have the conversation with them, and you have to encourage them to get out and vote.
Yeah, of course, because the day of the election, I actually went out the day of, and I found libertarians that were sitting home, not going out and not voting. And I said, I introduced myself. Can you go out, take 5 minutes at your time and go vote? And all of them said yes.
Yeah, which is fantastic. That is so good. That is so good. And so when you now, I heard that there were some voting irregularities happening in New York, especially for people who are trying to get a libertarian ballot. Did you hear anything about that in your area or anything like that?
As in just, what do you mean? As in,
So I was watching online and I saw different libertarians in New York saying, I went to go vote in the libertarian primary, and I kept asking for the libertarian ballot, and they were like, yeah, there isn't one. Nope, I don't know what you're talking about.
I did hear about that across the state and even near me. I'm pretty sure one of my voters mentioned that to me too. Me personally, I didn't see it. I didn't have that problem. I went in there. They had ballots all right next to each other. I was the first libertarian to come in and vote. And I saw a lot of that across the state. A lot of people said they were the first libertarian to go and vote. I mean, it's our first primary, It's a big thing. It's exciting, I mean, it shows that, the Libertarian Party in New York we're getting so much bigger. We're getting stronger. People are starting to know who we are. But yeah, I personally didn't see any problems with that, but I've heard a lot. Yeah, I did hear a lot that ballots were either not there. One of the workers had to go look for it. So, and it wasn't just, I don't think it was just the Libertarian Party. I think I heard a little bit about the Democrat Party too, getting some of that. But regardless, I mean, obviously that's a problem. And I want to make sure, and we should make sure that the voters know what they're doing, know where they're voting, know how to vote, know the process. And if there's something that doesn't seem right, we want to help them, especially as a candidate. I would like to help them and make sure they're voting and getting that the right, getting it done.
Absolutely. So, we're not hearing as much about New York as far as the pandemic anymore. Yeah. Although you guys did pop up in the news today saying, "Oh, hey, if you're coming into New York from some of these other states, you're gonna have to quarantine for 14 days," which to me seems more like payback than safety, but we'll see on that. Seems more like New York's going, "Oh yeah, well, I'll quarantine your ass."
I saw that post of Governor Cuomo, and I had to make my own post about it right away too, because it frustrated me. I'm like, what is this guy doing? Does he believe in freedoms? Or, I mean, come on.
No.
But, in Nassau County, we are in stage 3, starting today. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, a lot more things are opened up. You can actually go in restaurants now, 50% captivity. So you have a little more, I guess you got a little more of your freedom back.
Right. Please, sir, may I have another freedom?
Yeah, right.
Just one for you.
I argued in my county to county legislators on their Facebooks and stuff, not directly, but I argued to them like it should be localized. The governor should be having all this power, and this is one of the things that I argue about is Governor Cuomo having all this power. there's supposed to be there's a Senate for a reason. There's a Congress for a reason. He has what it's called the message of necessity. He uses that all the time. What it is usually senators have 3 days to vote on a bill or look up, read the bill, vote on it, so which you should have plenty of time to be able to read a bill before it's voted on. But Governor Cuomo can use this message of necessity to have the vote the same day as it comes out. It's a huge power grab that he has, and this is one of the things I argue about. But it shows that we need to get the power out of Governor Cuomo's hand, decentralize it in New York, give the local communities more power. I argued for Nassau County. I commented on the executive, the legislators' post. I said, you guys need to stop listening to Governor Cuomo. This is our county. He's all the way in Albany or whatever he is in. Let's decide what we need to do here, because we are not New York City. We are not upstate. We are not the 5 boroughs. We are Nassau County, Long Island. So we need to be separate.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm going to see if Heather can pop up the link to your campaign page.
Yes, I will bring that up. Let's see.
That's a website. I do need to update the website. I haven't updated because it's a brand new website that my friend did for me. I have to update it, but you can still go on and donate, and you can look at the main page.
That's still a nice page, though. I mean, you got the nice hero image, so it's good, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna just. I lost my link. I feel so dumb. I'm like a librarian. I should be able to do this. Let me just. Let's see. I'll find it again.
I popped it into the private chat.
Did you? Oh, I looked in the wrong spot, Kara. There it is.
I was sneaky. I put it in the private chat. So you can. So if you're looking and you are looking for a candidate to donate to, John's campaign is definitely one to look at. So happy about New York. Happy about everything that's happening in New York. Larry Sharp did a wonderful thing on getting you guys ballot access, which is amazing, and I'm so happy about that. So, yeah.
You like the little torch and the T of my name?
I do.
That was my friend's idea. I would have never thought of that. That was my friend's idea. It was good.
It was very nice. I know a lot of people don't like the chicken on a stick, but I do. I do like the chicken on a stick. So.
Chicken on a stick, is that what you call it, Kara?
Yeah, see,
there it is, chicken on a stick. Very nice.
Yeah,
this is a great page.
Yeah, I have to do a lot of updating. I'll be honest, I need to work on it. It's kind of only me controlling the thing, and my friend just he's the creator of it, but it's really just me doing it. So I gotta make sure I get more time to be able to do it. But I will. It'll be updated more. I want more issues on there so people can read what my background is and what my position on issues are.
I'm going to put it in our comments, too, on the chat, so that way people can see it as well.
And then they can just click the link.
Clicky. I like that.
So what is next? So you made it through your primary. So how is your race now? Who are you up against?
So now it's a 3-person race, 3-party race. It's going to be me, the Libertarian, then Kevin Thomas, who is the sitting Democrat, and then Dennis Dunn, who is the one he's a Republican, and he's the one I just beat in the primary, so he's going to be in the general election too. But it's kind of cool, even though it was just primary, it's cool to think that, hey, I just beat this Republican that's on the general election. I mean,
yes, you did.
It's crazy. I mean, it's when you start really thinking about it, it's like, wow, I beat an actual Republican. And
yeah, you did.
No, it's crazy. But so it's us 3. Well, I'm going to be doing a lot door knocking as much as I can because I always like to door knock. I like to meet people. Trying to get donations. Donations is always helpful. So if you can help donate, because that will help me be able to provide flyers, lawn signs, all those goodies that you need in a campaign to go further. And as the election goes on, I am still trying to get to any town boards that they have online. Everything is over the internet now. Still fight for people's rights. Earlier this year, I went to Kevin Thomas's town hall because he he voted on. He was one of the big proponents on banning flavored vapes in New York, and I called him out on this at his town hall.
Nobody wants that ban.
We don't. No, we don't. He had a whole, a couple scientists and a couple guys.
In other words, he's like a fan of racist, anti-liberty policies.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And he actually lives 2 blocks away from me, which was actually a funny story because I ran for Nassau County. My first run for office was last year, first time, for Nassau County legislator. And I was door knocking, actually knocked on his door last year unknowingly and met him.
No.
I gave him my flyer with all my issues, and he looked at me, and he tried to argue a little bit with me, but I kept it short and left. But it's kind of funny. And now the same guy I'm going against this year. So
good for you. Well, thank you so much, John. It was really good talking to you. I so excited about your primary win. That is fantastic. Mm-hmm. So celebrate it, enjoy it, and then work your ass off for the general.
Yes,
I will. And support liberty. I'm gonna fight for everyone's freedoms here in New York, and that's it. And if you want to help me out, like I said, go on my website, donate any way you can do, volunteer if you like. Contact me. It's on the website. And thanks for inviting me to the show.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, John. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Isn't that awesome?
That's so cool. Wow, that's awesome change. I love it. Everything is really coming together.
I know. And I know. So he did put his campaign plan together, and he knew he needed to run this primary, not just treat it like a joke. He needed to run it, especially when you're facing someone in a primary that's trying to knock you off your ballot line. Because again, our ballot line has become attractive. Other people want our ballot line. They're trying to take it from us. But he knew he needed to defend the libertarian ballot line and defend it against an incumbent. And that incumbent should have had every advantage. They should have had contacts. They should have been well known. They should have had money. They should have had volunteers, all that kind of stuff.
But they didn't.
Too bad, so sad. So
yep.
Yeah, so that is excellent.
I'm happy to hear that.
So if you thought that was good, wait, there's more. So we have a candidate and her campaign manager who are joining us. This candidate is a Colorado candidate, and she has a real opportunity to win her seat. So we're going to bring her on. So it's Hannah Waugh, and God, I hope I got her name right. We've been going back and forth. How the hell do you pronounce it? And she's running for county commissioner. And then we also have her campaign manager, who is no novice to politics whatsoever. Mm-hmm. We have Seth is joining us as well, so we can bring them in. Welcome.
Hi.
So good to see you guys. Happy you could join us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us. I do want to point out at the beginning that this is a partisan race.
Yes.
It is a partisan race. There is no Republican running. It's just a Democrat and a Libertarian.
Head to head.
And the seat is currently held by the Republican. So there is no incumbent by a Republican, and the Republican does support Hannah. So we have a lot going for us. Just from the beginning.
And that's why I'm so excited about your race. So Hannah, I have a short list of races that I have marked just for my own knowledge on my races to watch, ones that I really think that there's a good chance of winning, and we have a really good candidate in the race. Those two criteria. And so your race is one of those, and you are one of those candidates. So very excited to have you on this evening. Could you tell us a little bit about the race that you're in and the area that you are looking to represent?
Yes, of course. So again, thank you guys. It's I tell Seth this all the time, that it's hard to believe what I foresee as my little race is getting such attention. So I'm very thrilled by it. So Lake County is about 8,000-9,000 people in total. I would represent District 3, which sits more on the rural area. It's not our main portion of our main town. It is just right now a bipartisan race. It's me going up against a Democrat who moved here from Washington, D.C., and is looking to make his name known here in the town. And that's completely fair, but we're a small community. And the fact that I've been born and raised here is really to my advantage in knowing what our community needs and what we need to move forward progressively without destroying what makes us unique.
Exactly. And so now you have the current county commissioner for that seat is endorsing you.
He has not given an official endorsement. I'm still waiting on that, but we have spoken. I have gotten a chance to connect with him, as well as the Republican Party here in town, which is very nice to get that kind of bipartisan support across all communities, knowing that right now we don't need to be focused on just red and blue. We need to see that gold is the future.
Yes, it is. Gold is the future. That is exactly correct. Okay, so Seth, you are her campaign manager, but you are no novice to campaigns. So could you tell people a little bit about what you've done on working with campaigns?
Oh, goodness. Very quickly, my first campaign was 2010 Senate race, some guy named Marco Rubio. And that was a big underdog race. And that was really eye-opening for me. And then from there, I got the opportunity to work with Governor Gary Johnson in both his Republican and Libertarian presidential campaigns, 2011, 2012. I worked with Dave Bratt to unseat Eric Cantor as the Senate Majority Leader. And then back with Governor Johnson in 2016 on the presidential campaign. And then most recently, I was Judge Gray's campaign manager for the last 2 weeks of his presidential campaign, which ended when the nomination ended. And then I was never really intending on getting too involved in the presidential ticket this campaign season. I had been looking at down ballot races that have a real chance of winning. And I had a stack of about 25 that I went through. And out of all of them, Hannah's rose to the top for every bit. And I reached out to her. We had a phone call, and I realized this is the race I really want to focus on.
Yes.
And it's about this race. Yes, I'm confident that we can win this race and have libertarian representation in Lake County. But this is going to be a model for down ballot partisan races in Colorado and other states as well. There's a lot of libertarians run as message candidates, and that's important. But
the popo are coming to hit Heather.
No, there's a car on fire near me. Sorry,
yeah, sounds like a fire.
But anyway, so I'm really excited about the opportunity to create a model for future success.
Yeah, absolutely. So Hannah, we have met before.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's part of the work that candidates put in before they even start campaigning. So just to tell people, so you went to a training that was put on for candidates. I was there. So was Apollo Pizzell. So tell us why you went to that training and why you were starting to prepare for your race before you were even in it.
I went to it because I honestly wasn't sure. I know that running, a lot of people, especially people closer in age to me, we have these great big ideas and these great big plans for the future. But sometimes we don't have the follow through for it. And I'm notorious for it as well sometimes, is I'm like, I would love to change the world. And then I realize that I live in a community of 9,000 people. So I wanted to start somewhere where I know I can make a difference with everyone here. And the first step with that was kind of biting the bullet and getting on that training with you guys and realizing if I want to be successful, if I want to build teams, if I want to have support, I have to put myself out there. And it was super beneficial. And I'm still joining a lot of those trainings to this day, just trying to get things wrapped around. You know, I was on the one on Monday, just to try and understand, you know, what the issues campaigns face, especially when you're not, you know, backed by the two-party system. And while we're gunning and the Libertarian Party is in a movement right now to especially make ourselves heard, we've still got a lot of ground to cover to make people realize, like, most people are libertarians. They are. We just have to make sure our voices are heard properly. And that's what I wanted to do by attending those trainings and running.
Well, I just wanted to jump in there, especially in Colorado. We have a lot of libertarians and people who don't necessarily even register as libertarians. So our governor is the only Democrat who considers himself a libertarian on the national stage. He calls himself a libertarian. He was part of the Liberty Caucus when he was in Congress.
Right.
That's Governor Polis. And there's a lot of people who consider themselves libertarian in our state. And now, once we show that libertarians can win with the Libertarian Party label, I think a lot of them are going to switch over. We actually have.
I do too.
I've already had some people contact me saying they're ready to make the switch. Another thing I wanted to point out is that Hannah has been attracting some really great attention that isn't just right in front of you right now. She's attracted attention from other candidates in the party. So Judge Gray is actually helping as her fundraising manager.
Yay.
And
that's awesome.
Yeah. And we have one of Spike Cohen's social media people is working with us to run social media.
Wow.
We have TJ Ferreira helping with tech stuff. Not only is he an alternate for Region 7, but he's amazing. He's excellent, and he's working on the program for the convention.
Yeah.
We have Chris Minnelletti, who is he's the treasurer. He was on the Judge Gray campaign, and then we have Joanne Vaccarino, which many of us know.
Oh my God,
helping us out. So we have a really good team behind Hannah.
We have like an all-star
it's like a dream team.
Yeah. And we're blindsiding the Democrat. The Democrat who's running, he thinks he's walking into this seat. He's not trying at all. Hannah's been going to every in-person event and every virtual event possible. And from what I've found, the opponent has only been to one event. And that one event that he showed up to, I don't think he realized he was even on camera because he was lying in bed without a shirt on.
It works for some people, but I'm like saying, like, you should know, like, if you're gonna lay in bed without your shirt on, you should be like, hello.
Right.
Not like I'm eating Cheetos.
Right. It was more like that. So, I really think this guy thinks he's going to waltz into this position, and we're blindsiding him with a strong campaign.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Good. Take it to him and make him frickin' eat it. I love it. So what are some of the issues that are in your area? Like, so you're running. What are you looking to do to make people's lives better in the area that you live in?
I think ultimately what I want to do is give people in our community back their voice. We've had issues be voted on that the commissioners have then chosen to, I don't want to say ignore, but have chosen to act in the opposite way. We've had situations where, especially right now with the high unemployment rates, our commissioners did not do a proactive job of trying to get businesses back open in time, in line with the rest of the state that was pushing so hard, especially for our town and our county, which operates high on tourism. They just did not do those things, even with public health's advice. And I want to make sure that we're moving Lake County forward in a progressive manner. We have to be progressive. We have to be also aggressive with how we handle our tax money and eventually reducing taxes. But we also have to make sure that every single person has a voice. And the biggest concern I have in our community right now is a lot of people no longer feel that their rights or their voice is being respected or heard.
And that's when you get apathy. That's when you get a lot of apathy. And I think that amongst our political class, there is a push to make things difficult for people's voices to be heard because it makes it easier.
Mm-hmm.
Like apathy is their friend. They don't want people involved. They don't want people's voices heard. They don't want them to be active. They want to be able to do their job without any hampering. And that's how they see residents, as an impediment to them doing their job.
Which I've expressed this to Seth multiple times, but one of my biggest concerns is most of our county commissioner meetings take place at 1 p.m. during the work week. Who's going to attend to that?
No.
Most people have full-time jobs out of the county. So who's attending those meetings?
Hardly anyone.
Yeah,
No
that's
one
odd.
can.
That's odd.
And that's when the meetings actually take place. They have a habit recently of canceling their meetings last minute. So
Well, that's not cool either.
no, it's not fair. And we're running, it's something that I don't like making promises. I'm not a promises person.
Yeah.
Like, let me not make promises, but let me show you what I can do. But that's one thing that I will fight tooth and nail for, is that our county commissioner meetings should be moved at a time where our workforce can be there.
Right.
And their time should be respected, because we all work. We all have jobs.
Yeah. And are
You
your
know?
meetings live streamed or?
So they have Zoom meetings currently, and they are sometimes streamed on YouTube, sometimes not. And in the experience that I've had, some of the Zoom meetings just don't work.
Yeah.
So it creates a whole other barrier for our elderly citizens or our people in Lake County who don't have access to internet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the problems with Lake County is that it has even the best connected areas still have limited bandwidth. And there's times, when there's not enough of an upload speed to get on a Zoom meeting. So, that's part of the problem of being in Lake County, is that in person is really the way to reach people.
So you have a really tough digital divide there.
Huge. Oh yeah. Huge. And speaking about people not having a voice, just over a third of the population of the voting eligible population is Hispanic, and they represent less than 10% of the people who actually vote.
Oh.
And so they're not being spoken to, and so we have plans. We have plans for them, for that group. And Hannah was saying before that she's in District 3, which is the more rural part of the county, but in the county commissioner's race, everyone votes for you, even people who are not in your district.
Mm-hmm.
So you're representing that district, but everyone is a voter in the county.
So although you represent a district, the vote happens as if you were running at large.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. So how many votes do you need to win?
1,600.
1,600.
Totally doable.
Totally
That's
doable.
completely doable. And that's another exciting aspect of your race. One is that it's head to head. The other is that the current incumbent is not running again. So it's an open seat.
Yep.
And also your win number is low. This is a very winnable race. So
Let me throw another one in there.
What do you need to do to win? What do you need from people so that you can win?
Well, let me just throw one more thing in our favor, is that there's another county commissioner race happening in Lake County, and it's Republican versus Democrat. So the Democrats are running two candidates, and they think that their tough race is going to be against a Republican, and they're investing their resources behind that candidate, not behind our opponent. So they're spread thin, and we're getting support so far just behind the scenes, but we're working on getting in front of the scenes from the Republicans. And so what do we need to win? Our goal is we're trying to raise $15,000. So totally doable. We just opened up our website to accept donations a few days ago. It's right there. Thank you. Yep. And there's some information on there. There's a way to donate, and we'll be adding some things to that website soon enough. The other thing we are going to be taking advantage of, and I don't want to get into too much detail because it's part of our campaign, but Colorado is 100% vote by mail, and people have their ballots for about 3 weeks before they're due. There's a lot that we can do with people having their ballots in their hands and us interacting with them while they have their ballots.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. That's part of your get out the vote. So yeah. So Hannah, why did you decide to run?
Yeah.
What was it that, because you were thinking about running, you were investigating it. What made you pull the trigger?
To be honest with all of it is I pulled the trigger because I was tired of complaining. I was tired of the constant feeling of nobody else is listening to me. Nobody else is understanding what I want. And nobody else seems to respect that I believe everyone has a voice. I believe everyone can have a gun. I believe that my tax dollars should not be spent on stupid things. And I got really frustrated with it. And I was actually talking with another friend who was considering running. And they were like, you know what? Go ahead and put your head in there. You've got to do it. You've got the power. And that's what I did. Is if I'm going to pull the trigger, I'm going to move as fast as possible and make sure that we can make actual change here and make sure that our rights in Lake County are respected, not only by Lake County, but by the state.
Right.
So I just got angry. I was tired of being angry and I wanted to do something different.
That's what spurs a lot of candidates into taking that step. But many people, like they have all of those feelings, and yet they're just like, I will shit post on Facebook 20 times a day and call it good. But you're stepping up and you are running for office, and you have a fantastic manager. You have an truly incredible team that you have surrounding you. So what are your next steps that you're doing?
I don't know if Seth's going to jump in here as I look to him. My next step is really boots on the ground, making sure we're out in the community as much as possible and making sure people remember that their rights are their rights and that they have a choice come November. They have a choice, especially I strongly believe that our smaller communities are where we're going to see an impact. Our rural communities, our smaller races. We may not see an impact on like huge, governor races this year or things like that. But the more places we start to get towards the libertarian ballot at a smaller part, the sooner that we can see those changes across the state, across the country. And so that's really what my message is across the board is remember that it's not just black and white or blue and red. You have more options.
Yeah.
So if you are elected, how many people are county commissioners? How many people would be on that board?
3.
Oh, so to get things done, you only have to hunt for one other vote to agree with you.
Correct. And there's a good chance it'll be one Democrat, one Republican, and one Libertarian.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so much fun. That's
super
fun. Because I'm on city council, and we're a council of 4 plus a mayor. So I'm always hunting for 2 other votes. Like I'm always like, where are you? Where's my 2 other votes? Oh my God, to just get one other.
So it's cool. Like the county commissioners, not only are they like a legislative, not only is the county commissioner like a legislative body for the county, but they also are sort of like a representative of the community to the state. And so if anybody wants to get something done, they can just go to Hannah on the state level, and she will have a direct connection to the governor's office, to all of the important areas, to the attorney general, and can make things happen on her own without having to have the whole commission on board. So one other thing that Hannah didn't mention, is that next month we have some special guests coming into town from Free the People, and we're doing a push for restorative justice in our justice system. Right now, Longmont, Colorado has that, and we're bringing in the Free the People staff plus the Longmont law enforcement and politicians, bringing them into our community to give a presentation on transitioning into a restorative justice system, which is something that Hannah wants to do as a county commissioner.
Mm-hmm.
That is truly excellent. And that would be something that would have a lasting and deep impact in your community.
Yeah, it's something that's very exciting. And the more that I learn about restorative justice and see what Longmont has done, I mean, I think that especially rural communities benefit from it because you're getting the service that people need out here that we may not have access to otherwise.
So a lot of people haven't heard of what restorative justice is. Now, Heather and I have, but we have heard of it like in a different path. So we've heard of it in a religious way, kind of. So we've attended like pagan events and pagan festivals and all that kind of stuff. And so restorative justice has been a big part of that for, 10 years, Heather?
Yeah, at least, right?
So, it's been a big component of it. So it's something we're pretty familiar with amongst our communities, but other people may not be familiar with what restorative justice is. So why would you want to bring that to your county?
So I may divert to Seth on this because he is far more versed in it than I am. I recently learned of it. But I think the thing is we do not see a lot of violent crimes here in Lake County. Mm-hmm. We're fortunate in that aspect. We don't see a lot of violent crimes. The crimes we do see, theft, things like that. I'd like to see people restoring the faith that they have and putting our officers to better use of their times. Things like, actually going out there and hunting down dangerous criminals rather than hunting down someone who stole $3 worth of candy from the grocery store. So for those who aren't really familiar with restorative justice, it basically means that you kind of serve the person who you victimized in your crime. So you take what they're good at. Maybe they're really good at landscaping, and they stole mail from an elderly human. That means they now get to serve their time, so to speak, by mowing their lawn for the next 6 months. Not that we have a lawn mowing season of 6 months up here. It's more like a month and a half. But
yeah, Minnesota is sort of the same.
Yeah. But making sure that we're not just hunting an eye for an eye, that we're making our communities better.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just to expand on that a little bit, right now our justice system is everything looks like a hammer, or everything looks like a nail and we're the hammer. So everyone needs to go to prison. Everyone needs to go to jail.
Very punitive.
And that's with restorative justice. First of all, you have to understand that this is the victim or the victim's family, in the case of things like murder, has to be on board with going that path. It's not the only path. It's a path that's available. And also the defendant also has to agree to do that. Maybe they don't want to do the work and they'd rather just sit in prison. But it's a way to have, I guess, something positive come out of a conviction.
Right.
Where, and so, it's really a win-win all around. So 3 wins, because it also costs less to implement for the state. And so it's been very successful in Longmont, and I certainly see it being successful in Lake County.
And when we've seen restorative justice work as well, the aspect isn't punitive. What you're looking to accomplish is to make everyone as whole again as possible. Not just the victim, but also the person who perpetrated. And because of their active involvement in wanting to do the work and wanting to engage, and wanting to earn being part of the community again, I guess would be a good way to put that. It's kind of this holistic look at it, as in, yes, I was a victim, and now this is helping me to recover and become whole. But also for the perpetrator, it's helping them to recover as well and become whole through actions that they need to do and changes that they need to make in their life so that they can also change. And the idea is that everyone in the community is better. Like everyone in the community gets better and is strengthened so that this is no longer a weak part in the community. It's now strengthened. And that was always something that I thought was really attractive. Way better than in certain cases, I'm just saying, not everything, putting someone into jail and just saying, I'm going to forget about it, and whether you sink or swim or whatever, and when you get out, crap's probably going to still suck, and you're going to probably do that behavior again. And so none of us are better off. Like, we're all still in hell. We're all still in hell.
Yep. So that was better than either of us could have explained it. So thank you. I want to bring it back a little bit to the campaign. We have 6 days left to, if there's anybody watching who's interested in making a max contribution.
And what is that max?
It's $12.50, but that resets on July 1st. So if you want to do more than that, you can do it. Do it in the next 5 days. Give us time to actually make the deposit, and then you can do it again on July 1st. If you're interested in that.
So someone can do a max donation of $12.50 now.
Correct.
And then on July 7th, they can say, "Yep, I'm going to do another max donation of $12.50."
Correct. And if we get 2 checks for $12.50, we will wait to deposit the second one.
There you go.
Brilliant. I'm putting it up again. There it is.
Thank you.
So you're looking to raise $15,000.
Correct. That's what I believe we need to succeed.
Excellent. Well, it sounds like you guys have a really good campaign plan. You got a good campaign team. You have a very winnable race. I think this is an area where we could get a libertarian elected, and then in your area demonstrate what is it like when you have a libertarian governing. What does that look like? What does that feel like? And then people are comfortable with that, and they're ready to take a next step. They're like, you know what?
Yep.
Mad Max didn't happen. Like, this was not Somalia. It was all good. Good things happened. We need more libertarians.
Well, but it's not only that. There's a lot of people who already call themselves libertarians who just don't believe, they don't think that the party infrastructure will allow them to be successful. And if we can show them that it can, then that's why it's not just Hannah running. It's the team that I mentioned, and then we're also getting some other people involved as well. So it's a whole team effort, and we want to show that other candidates can feel safe knowing that if they have a strong campaign, that there will be people behind them to help them succeed.
Yay.
Well, I've got a really fantastic team. Not to toot my own horn, but these are the best people imaginable. So I already told Seth that if I win, I'm buying him a pony. We'll see if he wants a pony, but I told him that.
Thanks, Merman.
Back and bite me.
Seth, what are you going to do with the pony?
I'm not going to show my daughters. That's for sure.
It's my pony, dang it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it. Good luck to you. And again, Hannah, I'm going to be watching your race.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Very excited about it.
And I hope that we can check in a few months and you can see the progress that we've made.
I would love to.
that.
We would love to have you guys back. Definitely.
Awesome.
You guys are the best. Thank you.
You
Thank you
bet.
guys.
Thank you very much. How cool was that?
So freaking cool. Oh my
Is
God.
that not an awesome race? And oh my God, fantastic candidate, really good campaign team.
I love it, Kara. This is just, it makes my heart full of hope. And I mean, like, good things are happening.
Good things are happening.
It's a good time to be a libertarian, I will say.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yes. And we all need to go gold. That's for damn sure.
As gold as you can go, baby.
Yeah. But no, I mean, we do have a lot of really good things happening in the party. And I know it's easy to get caught up in like all the other stuff, but holy cow, we've got some really good things going. And I really do think she's got a good chance of winning that race. And I started hearing about her race, God, a while ago. And I was just like, oh my God, you got to be kidding. So yeah, so I have continued to peek at her race from time to time and kind of check that out. And yeah,
I got to say, the stars are aligning. It looks like things are going to be pretty cool. I'm like, knock on wood and whatever, but I still think like, that's awesome.
Yeah. And, oh my God, good candidate. Really good candidate. I mean, when you're looking for candidates that you want to run in an area, she checks every box on that.
Dang right. We need to clone her and put her in every state.
Yes, we do. Yes.
I would like her in my community. I'm just going to say.
So speaking of good candidates, Spike Cohen, our VP candidate, put out that amazing video.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. I look at his videos and I'm like, holy crap. That's what we've been missing. Like that's what the Libertarian Party has been missing. Just incredible.
Right?
So for all of you, if you haven't seen that video, we posted it on LP National Facebook page. It's on Spike's page. I think he posted it yesterday afternoon. But just an incredible, powerful message.
I'll post a link to it too.
Yes. And really good production values, all of that. So
he's such a neat guy. I mean, it's just really fun to watch this whole election process, and I feel really proud of our party.
Oh my God, we got a great ticket. We got a really great ticket for our presidential ticket.
Oh my God, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I just feel like I'm just so excited, and having talked to Joe too, I just feel like I am the most excited about the presidential year ever.
Well, and this weekend, so Joe was in Minnesota. That's and, she wanted to keep it pretty low key, and she did, which was nice because she wanted to visit the George Floyd Memorial. She wanted to see Minneapolis and St. Paul. She wanted to get a feeling, but she also just wanted to talk to people in the street, that were there at the memorial, there at other places like that, and find out, what are your views on things? Like, how are you feeling about this? What are you looking for in police reform? What are your life experiences like? Because she wanted to get a firsthand view, which is amazing, because usually, candidates at that level, they have someone else research something and then distill it down and then write it for them, and then they just regurgitate it.
Oh, man, right?
She wanted to experience it. Like, she wanted to see it with her own eyes. She wanted to interact with people herself. And she was amazing. And watching her interact with people, I mean, it was incredible. People loved her. And I don't care if they were Republicans or Democrats, or they were conservatives or progressives, or it didn't matter. People loved her.
Yes.
That's her secret weapon, is when she interacts with people, they love her, and they see that she is genuine and sincere and kind and smart, and just I mean, everything you would want in a damn president, and we
that's what we
never
need. Oh,
get.
I wish we had that already. This whole year would have been a little bit better if we didn't have such a freak show of non-feeling humans in charge.
But, oh my God, yeah. No, she was just amazing. Amazing. So I mean, our ticket is just incredible.
I'm just so pleased. I feel like I'm glad that you got to spend a little time with her too. And I hope to just see her at least a little bit in Orlando. I'm hoping a little because I love her hard.
We will.
I won't be like this. I'm like, hi.
Hi, I want to wear your skin.
Yeah, I know. I get so excited and I'm like, okay, chill the hell out, Heather. You'll be like, Heather, take a step, breathe. Instead of like, squeeze.
Like me when I meet book authors.
Oh my God, yeah. I'm like, hold back. And that's where I excel. As a librarian, I see enough authors sometimes. I'm like, no big deal. We can hang with them. But yeah, like some of these people, they're like superstars, man. Woohoo. So yes, I think this is awesome. I feel like I have a lot of hope for this year.
Oh my God. So, we're a little over time, but that's okay.
Okay.
So for those of you watching,
yeah,
if you want to put in your one awesome thing that happened this week, while we share our one awesome thing that happened this week, we will read yours and share it with everyone else so that we can all have kind of that happy thought at the end that there's good things happening. So do you want to go first or do you want me to go first on the one awesome thing?
Mine is super lame, but I will say it anyway. I decided this was a week for cake. And I was like, I was doing really good on diet stuff, but I was like, what would make my life more complete right now is cake. And my husband and I were talking and we couldn't quite agree on what kind of cake. So we just bought 2 cakes.
What ones did you get?
We got a chocolate cake, a super double chocolate cake. It's chocolatey as dark as my soul on the inside. And then we also got a red velvet cake. And we had cake for dinner last night. Which is one of the best parts of being a grown-up.
You had cake for dinner?
We're just like, screw it. We're going to have cake for dinner. And it was awesome. I'll tell you, you need to do it sometimes. Not every day. Don't do it every day. It's unhealthy, I know. But the cake for dinner was pretty dang sweet. But we ate healthier today.
Don't tell your husband, but my mom made me a rhubarb cake, and Tracy and I have eaten it all in 3 days.
Oh, so yeah. So, okay. But the good thing about you eating it is then he's not going to go and try to eat the rest of your rhubarb cake. So that's
no, good. I would have killed him.
For Father's Day, his mom made him a rhubarb cake too. So, and she knows how I feel about rhubarb. So that's, mother-in-laws, what can I say? But that's good. Okay. So that's probably not your good news, but that was mine. Cake.
So my awesome thing was getting to hang out with Jo Jorgensen, and and I got to have dinner with her before and all that kind of stuff, but that was at a convention. It's a little more formal and all that kind of stuff. This was really casual, and I picked her up at the airport and got to chat with her, and drove her around to different things. And we also had just a little fundraising event for her that was just a very chill. It was like a bourbon tasting event. I did not taste the bourbon.
I was going to say, Kara, that's not your drink of choice. I know.
But, it was just fun and casual and relaxed and good people. And it was really nice because, she called later and thanked me and said, because so the event was supposed to end at 9 because I know how things go because otherwise libertarians will camp out till midnight. That's just how it goes. And so, it was just going to be a 2-hour event, but it ended up being a 3-hour event. And that's because, she wanted to stay and all that kind of stuff. And, and she goes, I know it was supposed to end at 9, but I was just having such a good time because it reminded me of why I'm a libertarian, talking to all these really great people and having these conversations. And I was like, oh my God, that's great. And then the other thing that was spectacular was, So there's a lady who's one of our founders in our party in Minnesota, and her name's Vicky, and we see her every once in a while. Like I think last time I saw her was at convention 3 years ago.
Okay.
And, and I called her to see if she wanted to go to the fundraising event. And she said, well, I don't like to go unless I have someone to go with. I'm a single lady and I'm older and, all that kind of stuff. And I almost hung up because she sounded pretty firm on it. And then I was just like, well, I have a friend who's coming, who's a lady. What if she were to pick you up and then you guys introduced yourselves to one another and then you guys are buddies at the event? And she's like, oh, would you do that?
Oh my gosh.
And so she came and it was like really awesome to see her again. She had a fantastic time. And it was just great to kind of bring her back in.
And that reminds me of like when you and I went to one of my first events with you, and that was before I was a libertarian. And I'm like, I wouldn't have gone by myself because I would have been like, I don't know anybody. It's mostly dudes at this thing. Right. And I'm like, I'm not like, I just want to go and find out what they're about. I don't really know how it's going. And then I went with you and I'm like, wow, I could go to this. This is no trouble. But I think like pairing people up, what a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely. And she was super excited because she goes, I can't believe it. She goes, when I first started, it was like me and one other lady and that was it. And she goes, now there's all these women that are involved. And
isn't that the truth? I mean, like, us chicks are all, we see other women and you go, smart women just like me. I'm like, I want to be a part of that.
Absolutely. So so that was my one awesome thing.
I loved it.
I don't see other people joining in with theirs, which is totally fine. People don't have to share if they don't want to. That's fine.
But if you want to later, you can always post it if you watch it. I know a lot of times people watch it on like after the fact because it might be late where you are or whatever. But if you have something that you want to share, just share it in the comments. I'll look at it. I'll say something,
Absolutely. So I know we went a little late, but we had like awesome guests. This was
so
really
much
good.
fun. I know.
But this was really cool.
I'm so glad too. Yes. That's why Wednesday is the best day.
It is because it's hump day.
Hump day, baby. Anyway, so on that note, I think we're done for the night. See you all next week. We love you guys. Bye bye. Ending the